Our panda has collected coins, survived timer challenges, but now there is a bigger problem. A hungry cookie monster tries to catch our panda, and if it catches you, you die. This bonus episode was inspired by a comment in a previous video. The idea was simple, a snack follows the panda. So today we are building exactly that. So let's go ahead and create our cookie monster. We would start with a blank scene and would go to the other node and we would select a character body 2D since we want our cookie monster to move around our world and interact with other collision objects like the rocks. I would rename it as a cookie monster and I'd just save the scene. I like to keep it camel cases for all the nodes, all the scenes. Then I would add an animated sprite 2D to it. This is for the visuals of our cookie monster. I'd just select the hungry cookie and I'd select all the frames. Add the frames and I would select this autoplay on load option as well. Then I would turn down its transform scale to something like 0.3 and then I would add a collision shape. I would select a circle shape 2D as the shape of for cookie is almost circular. Once this is done, I would also add an area 2D to it. I'll explain it in a bit why I'm doing this and a collision shape for this as well. And for our cookie, we don't want anything special. We want our shape to be circle as well. So what's the purpose of this two collisions? Why do you need this two collisions and what's the difference? So the first collision is a child of our cookie monster which is our character 2D. So it would be used when the collision takes place with the physical objects like rocks and other stuff. The second area collision is to detect whether anything is touching our cookie monster like the player for instance. Now if I go to our main scene after saving this, you can see I can already instantiate our cookie monster inside it. And I can move it around as well. Pretty neat, easy. But it does nothing as of now, it's just a static character body 2D that's just staying in its place. So now what I want is this cookie monster to follow me. That's it. First goal, make it follow us. So I'd go back to a cookie monster and add a script to it. To make this cookie monster move, I need to set a speed for it. And since I want it to follow our player, I also need the player's position or the reference to our player node. So I would create two variables, speed and player. You can note that both of these are export and I haven't set any value for the player yet. I've just stated that it's a character body 2D because we're gonna set it through our main scene. So if I go back to our main scene, you can see the cookie monster and I can just assign our player node here. So our cookie monster has a reference to our player node and it has a speed. Now we just need to make it move and it would move in the physics process as we saw for our player as well. The first goal would be to find the direction in which it would be moving. So I would declare var direction equal to global position, that is the position of our cookie monster, dot direction to player dot global position. What this does is basically it gives you direction from the cookie monster to the player. Once we have the direction, we find the velocity, which is just direction into speed. And then we would use the move and slide method to move our character. And that's it. Our cookie monster should be following us. You can see it's following us, but there are a couple of problems. Like it's facing me and it's not facing me now. And if I collide with it, nothing really happens. So let's fix this. The first thing I want to do is to make it look in my direction. So I'd go back to our player.gd and I would borrow this script from here, which says if the velocity is less than 0, we just flip the sprite. It's pretty handy and it works same if you don't have two separate sprites for horizontal movement. If you have separate sprites, you could just animate it that way based on its velocity. And now you can see it's facing me. Now for the problem number 2, it does nothing when we touches it. So let's fix that. The first thing we would do is we would declare a signal. I would name it as player touched, and since we have our area 2D, we go to the signals and do body entered. Just as we did for our coin node, this tells us whether anything has entered our area 2D. So now I need to check if the body that entered is indeed our player. So I would just write if player equal to body. If you compare this with our coin tutorial, in coin we have written something like body.name equal to player. This is fine as well, but since we have the player nodes reference directly, it is much more correct to directly use the player. Either way, it's fine. And so if the player has touched it, we would just emit a signal. That's it. Now our signal is emitted. If I go back to our main scene and if I go on Cookie Monster, you can see the player touch signal has appeared. If I double click it, I can connect it to a method and our method is ready. So this method basically gets called when our player touch signal is emitted. So you can do whatever you want, you can reduce its health, you can do anything. For now, I just want to end the game. So I would copy the same logic as we used when our timer runs out and just paste it. And I would maybe change our message to something like you died. Note you can do anything you want here when the Cookie Monster touches you. Maybe you can change the sound, maybe you can end the game in different way, or maybe you have a different message. And if you play the scene, the Cookie Monster catches you, it comes after you, and when it catches you, you died. If I restart it, you can also see that there is an interesting thing. You can hide behind the rocks, just as it should be. The monster shouldn't go through the rocks. And now you have to skillfully evade it and collect the coins, which is pretty hard. If there is anything else you want to learn, you can put it down in the comments and I would try to make a tutorial on it in these bonus episodes.